Continuing with the same differentiating mechanisms between the macro and subroutines, we will cover the next differentiating mechanisms, that is, which are the different requirements in terms of a memory. Okay. So in terms of a macro, it is the its object code requires large amount of main memory as well as a secondary memory compared to subroutine. As you all know that macro generates the object code and it requires the main and secondary memory also. In terms of the subroutine, its object code, it also generates the object code, but it requires less memory. Okay, in terms of main as well as secondary memory. Coming to the next differentiating part. What is the next difference? Its source code means macro source code requires less secondary memory as compared to its object code. It depends on the macro call statement. Means while calling, it requires less memory in terms of the secondary storage. But talking with the subroutine, its source code requires means its source code requires more memory in terms of the secondary. Now, what is the next difference? The next difference is that it requires extra processing time for expansion. Yes, it is true because it is taking the extra software, that is the preprocessor. So it requires extra processing time. Okay, but subroutine does not require extra processing time. Okay, because it does not using the preprocessing. Next differentiation is that speed of the macros object code is very fast. Speed is fast because it does not require any stack manipulation, because not requiring stack. Okay, so you can easily tell about the subroutine that as it requires the stack, so its speed is okay. Next, what is the difference? It is macro is suitable in real time environment because of the speed. Means what is the real time application? It is suitable in real time environment. Okay. Next, as it requires the less more time to execution, it is not suitable in real time execution because its speed is slow. Speed slow, so not required in real time environment. And at the last, what is the last differentiating factor? That is talking in terms of the macro. The macro requires, or we can say that macro handles the time factor. It requires or it handles a time factor more importantly than the space. It gives priority to time, not a space. But in terms of the subroutine, space factor is more important. because it is a one line execution and it is a multi-line execution. So it is act according to the time and it act according to the space requirement. So these are the different comparating factors. We have covered this in two video sessions and have successfully understood the which are the different comparating mechanisms between the macro and subroutine. In the next videos, we will cover the different mechanisms of the macro processor in details. Thank you so much.